All right, welcome to another episode of the Prospects Corners podcast. We have a special guest with us today, Joe Tipton of Joe Tipton Edits. Joe, go ahead and let the people hear your voice.
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you having me, man. Happy to be here.
Hey, no problem, man. It's really good to have one of the better writers in this space on our page. Today, we're going to be going over the City of Palms Classic. We're going to give you guys our top 5 prospects from each. And before we start naming some guys off, Joe, go ahead and give us like your ideology of your top 5 so far.
Yeah, so my top five, it isn't based solely on, rankings. It isn't based solely on, who's the best long-term prospect. Mine is based around kind of my top five players that I enjoyed the most slash kind of caught my eye, kind of made me look twice.
Okay, perfect. So, Joe, we're going to start this off kind of round robin. I want you to go ahead and go first. You give me your guy, and we're just going to go back and forth.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna start off with Riley Kugel, Mississippi State signee, for Dr. Phillips in Orlando. Um, coming into the game, you try not to worry about rankings. You kind of try to put that out of your mind. But I was familiar with the kid already. I see that, he's going to an SEC school, but he's a 3-star kid, ranked in the 200s around there. But he really stood out in terms of his athleticism. He's extremely bouncy. He can score from all 3 levels. I think he averaged like 17 and a half a game, and like 4 outings for Dr. Phillips. And, he's quick. He got after it on the defensive end. And he was just a joy to watch because I love it when kids play hard, and especially on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Oh, yeah. And I have Riley on my list too, so I'll go ahead and talk about him a little bit. One thing that's always going to be impressive is like he has like a motor, and like throughout the season, I've seen him play at like different paces, and like clearly he's like slowed down the game because he's not just going 100 miles per hour. And like you've been saying, like he's been shooting the 3 ball really well this season. Probably in about like the 5 matchups I've watched, and then even in the 4 at City of Palms, he was hitting probably about like 3-pointers a game on like really good efficiency. He caught that kid from Ballard at the end of the game on the poster, and like I still don't know why kid jumped.
Right.
But another thing that goes like underrated is Riley's passing game. Like he's more of an off guard at 6'5" and like extremely athletic. But when he has the ball in motion, like he can definitely find guys around the rim, and just really impressed all over. Let's go ahead and go into our next guy.
So my next guy, if you're a high school basketball fan at all, then you're familiar with his name, and it's Dariq Whitehead. And I've seen Dariq play several times. And, every player has their ups and downs. They'll have a great game, or, they'll have a bad game. But the majority of Dariq's game, he has a solid game. He plays on a very deep Montverde team, plenty of other talent around him, like 10 ranked kids on the roster. It's insane. It's like unlike any other high school. But Dariq, he's more of a small forward now. He's working on his 3 ball. He's shooting that with more confidence. I think obviously long term he'll kind of move and try to be more of a 2. Once he gets that shooting stroke down. But love how he gets to the rim, his aggressiveness. Competing on the defensive end again, and just kind of being a leader on a team that's, like I said, so deep, so stacked, so many options, and he's kind of their guy.
Oh yeah, love Dariq's game. My guy up is going to be Ramad Dean from Crestwood Prep out in Ontario, Canada. He only played 2 games down in the City of Palms, but he really impressed. He averaged pretty much 26 points a game with 11 rebounds. Incredibly skilled, a lot of high major offers. Hasn't really decided yet, but whoever gets Ramad Dean is going to get an extremely athletic 6'5", 6'6" forward. Really powerful dude. Got a lot of rebounds. Great in transition. he's definitely going to be a vertical threat at only like 6'6" or so. He called about like 2-3 alley-oops each game. Lived above the rim. He shot decently, 3 of 7 over those 2 games. Not on like high volume or anything, but the fact that he scores the way he does around the rim and can also shoot the 3, you figure it out on defense, he's going to be a really interesting piece for somebody's team.
100%. I just wish he was maybe 3 inches taller. Oh my goodness. Because he's, like you said, a little undersized. He was about 6'8", imagine.
Look, man.
The next up, I have Jairus Walker, another guy that, most people are familiar with at IMG. A couple knocks that I had on Jairus in the past, specifically last season, was his, lack of ability of, playing hard consistently. And I think a lot of that is due to, at the end of the day, sometimes we forget these kids are high schoolers, maybe they're tired of, especially like a team like IMG traveling all across the country. They're kids at the end of the day, they might have other things on their mind, whatever. And he's also physically intimidating more so than most on the high school level. And he's always had that kind of bigger, stronger body throughout the entirety of his high school career. But, what stood out about him is when he turns it on, he is nearly unstoppable. And, you would think, that, he's like listed as a power forward. You would think, with his body, he's just kind of bang down low, just rebound, but he does much more than that. He can pass the ball extremely well. He can even, catch at the 3-pointer, take one dribble, spin move and get to the rim. He's super quick, got a strong lower body, strong upper body as well. Could finish through contact. And I just love that he's consistently playing hard. And even on the defensive end as well, he's just really getting after it this season. So he's made great strides. I think he's averaging like 15 a game for IMG. Of course, another super deep team. And I think he's averaging like, 70% from the field. So he's taking high quality shots. He's not going to shoot the 3 ball, but, he might shoot, one at the elbow. He likes to fade away at the elbow and then, of course, get into the rim.
Yeah. No, Walker is definitely one that I'm really interested in getting down to Houston because I think he could be one of the best defenders in like college basketball, like instantly. Like he can guard multiple positions, extremely strong. Like, and Houston's already known for what they do, like to make you a better defensive prospect. So it's going to be scary down there. My next guy is out of Ballard High School in Kentucky, Maker Barr. He's going to UMKC. And to me, he's a really underrated pickup for that conference, that school, everything. I talked a little bit about like why he chose to go there. And it was like he loved the city. He loved the school. Electrical engineering is going to be his major. And at 6'9", he has great footwork. He showed that he can step out and shoot the 3. He didn't rebound well, but when you play Dr. Phillips and IMG, like I don't expect you to like out rebound those guys as like a singular person, but his footwork, his skill around the rim, he even flashed the ability to handle the ball in transition. So like a guy with that type of skill set going to UMKC, he has a lot of potential to make some noise in his 4 years there.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he was going to UMKC because after I watched him play, he had an incredible first half, that first game that we saw him. And I was like, this kid, he's got to have, SEC offers.
Yeah.
He's got to have some big time schools. And I looked up and he was already committed. I was like, well, respect to him. But yeah, he's really talented. And just the way he can get up and down the court, his size was extremely impressive.
Yeah. And there's like almost no buzz about him. Like if you look him up on like just about anywhere, like I did a search for like anybody talking about him on like Twitter.
Yeah.
Like there's posts from him like as a freshman, but there's like nothing else. Like the kid's not even on social media like that. Like I looked up Prep Hoops Kentucky and they don't even have a picture for him. I was like, in Ballard is like one of those teams in Kentucky that is like really known. So the fact that he's this under the radar like kind of blows my mind.
What class is he?
He's 2022.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you see if he ever picked up any other offers? Like if he had any like Power 5 offers?
I didn't even see any information on that. Like I didn't see anything about his recruiting.
Yeah, that's what I thought was interesting, and maybe he didn't. I don't know how long ago he committed to UMKC, but maybe there wasn't much talks of him because he committed right away, like his first offer he commits. And a lot of time when people talk, it's because he's having some big schools get involved and people start tweeting out. Auburn offered him, Georgia offered him,
Yeah.
whoever. But yeah, I like him a lot. And my next guy is Jairus Walker's teammate at IMG, Keontae George. And I like Keontae for a variety of reasons, but he puts on such a show when he gets hot, especially from three. You're just waiting for him to miss. It's like a heat check. He's hit three in a row, and you're just waiting for him to miss, and then he hits that fourth one. And he's got good size, headed to Baylor. He's a Texas kid, but I really love his ability to hit shots. And Baylor's really getting a good one.
Yeah. Incredible kid. He's been scoring like in droves since his freshman year. Like I saw him when he was in Dallas, almost averaging 30 as a freshman, and then turning into like a super athlete his sophomore year. So like everything's stacking up for Baylor to get like a really good one. And if they can teach him how to really play defense, like he already has the body and he tries right now. Like if they can figure all that out and make him like a really complete two-way guy, he won't be in Waco for long.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and we're going to keep up the IMG love with Eric Daly Jr., one of the top unsigned seniors in the class of 2022. I'm going to be honest here. Eric Daly is a massive talent. Like you can see it on the court. Like he's 6'7", he's really athletic, he's long, but there's like questionable moments in his IQ where it's kind of like I would like to see that catch up to like where your talent is. And through the games leading up, and then when he got to City of Palms, like you could really see it start to click. Like he was more aggressive. When I say he averaged almost 14 shots a game, but he was doing it on like really high efficiency, almost like 50% from the field. Shot 3 of 8 from the 3-point line, which is something that he normally doesn't do. And he's just picking the spots. He's getting to his moves. The mid-range jump shot is looking really good. Just if he can continue to put like everything together. I know you saw him at NIBC. Like, how did he look while he was there?
Oh, he looked fairly solid. What's interesting to me is he can still stand out and kind of make his mark, and you still like see him, and he still can have an impact on the game even when there's like so many other people around him. Once again, it's easy to make your mark. If we were talking offline, it's easy to make your mark when you're playing for a public school and you're the only D1 guy on the team. But when you're playing with 6-7 other guys, then it's a completely different ball game. And then I think one of the biggest mysteries is his recruitment, is he hasn't taken any college visits, and he doesn't do many interviews. He hasn't done any recently. And if you look him up, some analysts are writing about maybe he's considering the pro route. Nothing official. He hasn't come out and said anything like that. I know his dad played overseas for a while, and I think his dad is very well connected. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But yeah, I like his upside as well.
Yeah, and I really think where he's going to make his biggest mark, whether that's in college or like the pro level, is on the defensive end, because he can sit down, he can switch with multiple guys. Like I don't think he'll be able to guard like stronger fours, but if you put like a small ball four out there, or like a wing, even some guards, he can definitely slide his feet there. Like I'm interested. Like I really want to see where like all this pans out for his development.
100%, 100%. And then my fifth and final guy before we get to our honorable mentions is Kylan Boswell. Once again, playing for a loaded Arizona Compass Prep team. He isn't very much relied on as a scorer on that team. They got Mookie Cook, Chance Westry going to Auburn. several other guys. But how he makes his impact is on the defensive end. He can guard you 94 feet, unyielding on-ball D. And then also, he's a point guard. He's strong with the ball. I love his, poise, composure. He plays so tactical and, fundamental, and just like the way he moves, it's not like he's locked in like 24/7 when he's on the court. And he can always find the open guy, but he's a strong guard as well. Got a strong body, which a lot of the time, you see these guards in the 2023 class, they haven't put on much muscle yet, but he's got a strong upper and lower body, and that's really going to help him, because a lot of the time that's a worry for colleges. Can he, coming in as a freshman, can he absorb contact going to the rim? He only weighs 175 pounds, but Kai Boswell, he's got some muscle mass on him.
Oh yeah, big solid dude. Elite potty mouth. I don't know if you saw his mic'd up on Slam.
What's funny that you say that is, you watch him and, yes, he does have a potty mouth, but he's like an incredible guy. Like if you talk to him off the court, super respectful, super outgoing, got a great personality. He's a super nice dude.
Yeah. And I got to watch him pretty closely while he was playing with Team USA this summer. And he just makes teams work. Like between the defensive end, like you were saying, and his ability to find teammates, like the kid is a really good catch. Like I like Kylan a lot. My last guy is going to be Taylor Hendricks, who's going to UCF, and I don't think there's anything that Taylor Hendricks can't do on the basketball court. He can shoot the three. He's honestly at 6'9", 6'10", the best shooter on his team, like by far, which is just kind of ridiculous for a guy who's as athletic as him. He's super big, really wide shoulders, strong build, can operate in the post, can step out and hit the three, vertical spacer, like incredible defensive player too. Like he really blocks shots, can move his feet. I just like his overall package. He is another guy from this list that I'm kind of like, how are you this low? Like between rankings going to UCF, like somebody messed up, because this is definitely a high major kid who's going to really produce, and I could see him being like not conference player of the year, but definitely like in the discussion within his freshman year for that title.
Yeah, no doubt. I was surprised to see him commit to UCF. He's been committed for a while, but it's close to home. He's going there with his twin brother. I guess it was a dual, scholarship offer. You and your brother can both come. So that'll be cool that he'll be with his brother close to home. But yeah, I mean, he could have gone. It might be a stretch to say, the Blue Bloods, but he could have gone, easy to a Power Five, several. Power Five schools. I looked up his offers. He had plenty of options, but decided to say, closer to home. So respect him for that. But a couple of honorable mentions. There was so many good guys at City of Palms that it was hard to like come up with even, a short list. But, me and you spoke about Oak Hill, and, we had both been disappointed with Oak Hill, in the early going of this season. We had both seen them a number of times, and whether it was just they couldn't mesh well, they didn't want to play hard, whatever the case was. Well, I remember when Whitney Young played, Jill St. Bernard's beat them, and Whitney Young looked incredible in that game. And we go, and then Oak Hill plays them. And we're like, what's the final score prediction? I mean, you both said Whitney Young is going to win by 20 plus.
Yeah.
Oak Hill comes out and puts 96 on them and wins by 30. And yes, they caught fire. Yes, they were hitting all their shots, but still, they just looked incredible. And a lot of that was part due to, Chris Livingston headed to Kentucky, and Judah Mintz, a 4-star guy in the senior class that's uncommitted. But, Chris, just his ability to get to the rim, You know, he reminds me a little bit of Dariq Whitehead, a little bit. I think Dariq might be a little bit quicker, might be a little bit more, you know, solid on the defensive end, but they both love to get to the rim, and you know, they're both working on that, you know, 3-point shot, but they can, you know, knock it down. And then Judah Mintz, he's just a mid-range specialist. You know, he's, you know, not the biggest guy on the court, maybe, you know, 6'2", you know, 6'3" max, you know, but I mean, he can get you a bucket, and he, you know, he plays extremely hard. He's like not afraid, you know, of the spotlight at all.
Yeah. Livingston, if that is not his like man body, I am really afraid to see when he like fills out.
Yeah.
Because he's just a big, strong guy. Like I watched him play during the Adidas circuit with We All Can Go, and I thought he was more of a power forward. Like he looked that physically dominant. And then Judah Mintz, elite burst of quickness. Like I can't think of a guy in the class, especially like who's unsigned, who gets out of his movements as fast as he does. Like he's a really incredible talent. My honorable mention has to go to Mackenzie Mbako. I hadn't seen much of the 2023 top 3 prospect, but he has it. Can score on all 3 levels. Pretty athletic, long, 6'8". Clearly, he's playing a bit of like point forward role for his team, and I think that's a really good situation for him. Develop those skills, be able to find guys, and when he wants to score, he's going to score, and that's something that really impressed me. And then speaking of Whitney Young, Marcus Piegel. Piegel stood out in every single game. Shot maker, really good. I want to say point guard, but
Yeah.
their backcourt was like so loaded where they kind of just had like different guys switched off. They even have like a 2023 that's going on the radar, but still has like Stanford and KU offers.
Yep.
So like it's just a really good situation that they have over there. We also have to shout out the Boozer twins. Cameron Boozer didn't have the best first half, but that second half was incredible. Caden Boozer is definitely a point guard of the future. He's already like 6'4". If he continues to grow and to probably like 6'6", 6'7", he's going to be a really good dude. And considering his bloodlines, he has a chance. But no, we could literally talk about honorable mentions like all day. I'm going through like some of the notes I have, and it's like, I want to say it was like 25, 26 teams there. And you probably pull like 2 or 3 dudes from every single team. And then we have like Arizona Compass, where it's like, we could literally have an episode about them all day. So
Right.
a lot of really good guys at the City of Palm. Shout out to Donnie Wilkie. I wish we could go a little bit more in depth, but guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Prospects Corner with our guy, Joe Tipton, coming in as a special guest. We really appreciate you, man. Go ahead and do all of the fun YouTube stuff, like, subscribe. Go ahead and give us a follow over on Twitter at either AP_rights or Traveling Hoopers. And again, really appreciate the listen. Thanks, guys.